Hello, and welcome back to more of that Pokemon Platinum randomizer that was supposed to take place across just 1 month, and now that's stretched out a little bit. Well, we got a couple more trainers in the area that we can fight and get some experience. Which would probably be a good thing because I feel like I'm a little under-leveled here. This guy's starting off with a level 33 Magmortar, and that's not that far off from where I am. Yeah, in fact, my highest level is above that, so maybe things are just a little bit all over the place right now. And of course, we only landed 2 hits with our Bone Rush, because that would be what would happen, wouldn't it? Thank you, game. I am ever so grateful. Volume down. It's because I'm trying to avoid too much raising of my voice too constantly. So that way I can stay kind of quiet about it. Just stay kind of quiet in general. And hopefully we'll be okay. Here's the Monferno. We can get with more Bone Rush and actually be okay with 2 hits. I say hopefully get more than 2 hits this time, but I see we don't have to. I think we saw those last time and we just didn't get around to picking them or something. Such a downgrade from yesterday. I mean, they're not in 3D anyway. That's for sure. A wild water cow here. Hanging out. Being a cow. Water. Did I fight that guy already? Oh, this guy. No, not that guy yet. Oh. Well, let's fix that problem. Just to give him something, which, you know, they could do basically anything for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl in order to improve those. I mean, yeesh. We can eliminate that with a wide variety of things. Yeah, Metagross has wing attacks. That'll do. Wants to learn Heal Order, which is kind of interesting, but I like what I have for now. Maybe I'll come to regret that at some point. Ooh, Silver Powder. That boosts Bug-type moves by like 10% or something, so it's not that good. But hey. Still an interesting find anyway. stealing our chlorophyll ability, which isn't that useful, so get that thing out of here. I have not played too many types at all yet, so no, I haven't played it here either. That is a thing that exists. And I'm sure that's really, really confusing. Oh my god. Go fuck yourself, you little... I really want to murder a child right now. A very specific child, I mean, but... Just to make clear that it's because it's just about this guy. I overdid my inputs a little bit, and now I'm in a fight with him for, like, no reason. And he's just out here, like, you know... I don't like him. That's the important point. Let me throw him off the bridge. I might not kill him. You don't happen to have a... Oh, you do have head smash. Well, let's do this. Let's expend huge amounts of HP for head smash, because why not? Akita, that is a Pokemon we can deal with mostly with Metagross, actually, I think. But I just want to see some of my other stuff, because maybe let's not just let the winning. Fine. Change things up a little bit here. Oh, somehow this thing didn't die. Well, I guess at least we managed to push it a little closer with Liquid Ooze. Yeah, that wasn't that useful. The thing about the Nintendo patent, yes, I did see that, and I think that was mentioned yesterday anyway, too. That really badly dealt with patent that they in no way deserved was shot down, which is good. And not for what one would probably suspect out of me, the usual reasons of me being like, hey, good, Nintendo's taking an L, but because stuff like that, and I mean anytime, it's not specifically about Nintendo or any series or anything like that, but anytime gameplay mechanics are patented by game companies, that's bad for video games as a whole. Anytime any sort of like gameplay mechanic, think about the Nemesis thing in Shadow of Mordor, for example, which was apparently really cool, but I'm not going to play a fucking Lord of the Rings game from, like, any of the big companies, really, but whichever big company that was, I think was a Warner Brothers game. I'm not doing that. Are you out of your mind? Oh. Not everybody needs to answer that one. And another one that I think people are very... Like, for example, I think it's kind of bad that there was a period when the sanity system that was used in Eternal Darkness was held under a patent. That's not great. Those sorts of things are just... They restrict your ability to do things. And sure, there's this idea of restrictions breed creativity, but also no corporation needs to be able to hold that. And at some point, you're going to start hitting a point if you let that get out of control. And I know that making the slippery slope argument is, like, not a good thing. Typically, that's, like, bad argumentation. But also, you will eventually reach a point where you'll get to people who just basically try to patent extremely basic mechanics. You know, somebody who will figure out a way to patent jumping in video games. And then we'll all have to find a way to legally get away with killing them with big hammers. But I digress. Right, yes. I mean, I'm okay with reverse engineering for reasons of, like, look at how to do it and then use that as a springboard for yourself. That's what that Accolade lawsuit was about back in the early 90s. But that's kind of different. And again, it is sort of a thing you've got to be a little bit careful, because that's not actually that thin of a line, but also it is kind of a thin line on some level. On some level. Oh, that was a very, like... Yeah, look at that hard smash cut. That is very weird. Although I guess you're with 2D graphics. How do you pull it off? This guy called us a noob. That's incredible. Meanwhile, at least this guy's level 40 Pokemon is just a Chingling, so we can just annihilate that thing in one hit with Mega Horn. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, see, that one's better. Unfortunately, this gym is a maze. And not necessarily unlike other maze gyms, but more protracted because you have these elevator animations every time. Also a little bit aggressive with the dead ends, but I guess there's a lot of transfers in general, and they're fairly quick, so... Yeah, that's sort of what I'm saying. This Quagsire sprite looks like not good for that palette for some reason. That looks a little gross. What's the deal with this? What's the deal with... Alright, switch for Alligator in. Sap Sipper I don't think was until Gen 5, so I don't even have to worry about an ability, right? Oh, yeah, okay, he's doing fucking Destiny Bond shit, because of course he is. What if we didn't let you have fun? Well, thankfully, I didn't one-shot it, so good enough. Oh, well, alright. So now I have to goof around with this. Because I hit myself in my confusion because, quote-unquote, 50%. Oh, hey, you do have a real move. Well, good. Now you can actually die correctly. Get out of here. Sending Chingling, we've seen one of these before. So I'll stay in because Dodrio has moves to deal with a Psychic type. Even and perhaps especially a really bad one. Gligar. Do I still have an Ice-type move on this team? Take a look. Because I actually don't think I do, which is a bit of an oversight. Yeah, so my best way of dealing with Gligar is kind of not a thing anymore. So instead, I guess I'll switch Drifblim in, because it has Surf. That's at least something. Oh, well, I mean, that's neat. Okay, so now I don't remember where I'm supposed to go in this because of reasons of this place being kind of complicated. Oh, okay. I didn't even see that this was here. Wow. Whoops. Brain must have switched off. Check around a little bit here. Gliscor, huh? Well, this is a really bad Pokemon to be leading off with then. Just switch Drifblim in and through here. Oh, it's using Bounce. I think it's, yeah. I knew it wasn't Fly. Thought it was Bounce, I wasn't completely sure. It's gonna keep doing this nonsense for a couple of turns here. Hudson and Dustox. Well, Dustox being a bug means that we can take that down with, well, kind of a lot of our team, actually. For Alligator, you get in there and get some EXP. Alrighty. That's done. Let's keep searching the area. I think that'll be the path the red platform takes to go all the way up. Nose pass. Let's deal with this thing with this. I don't take damage if I fail. Oh no, it identified me. I'm pretty sure that was Odor Sleuth. I admit I wasn't completely looking. I just heard the sound. But it was the sound that I recognized from when Odor Sleuth is used in Gen 3. Yeah, which is actually a really funny one for Nose Pass, whose entire thing is, oh, it's a compass, but it has a huge nose because of that. So, of course, that thing would be able to use a sense of smell, except for the part where it's a rock. Toxic spikes? Ugh. Do you want to learn? Bide. No. Give up on Bide, absolutely. Anyone in the Pokemon Company who's continuing to shove that into the game should also give up on it, but I digress. Oh, right. Toxic spikes. I already forgot about those. Oh, well, it's not like we're not going to go and heal after we're done, I'd say, solving the gym puzzle, but there's not much to solve, so... Conversion. No, nope. You can see that I'm running into a lot of issue with the text going just way too fast. Hey, Round the Wheel, how's it going? We are in the Canalave City Gym. This is the 6th gym. In the original game, it is all, well, I say all, it is absolutely not all Steel-type Pokemon. Because, of course, it's not all Steel-type Pokemon. It is, theoretically a Steel Gym, but the Sinnoh Pokedex is about as shallow as a Dixie cup. So, the amount of those Pokemon that are actually in there, there's like shit like fucking Azumarill in that gym most of the time. As opposed to... God, I feel like the only Steel types that I actually remember seeing in this gym last time I played either Diamond or Pearl were basically just like Steelix and Bastiodon. Rando it up yourself. A Rando Monolock. Well, good luck with that. Do any of... Oh, I get what you're saying, Lurs. To answer your question in a serious way, no, but I understand the joke. I was like, wait a second, what? And then I'm dumb. But no, come on, there's... The Pokemon designers aren't that clever. Most of the time. Anyway, we're getting the hell out of here and gonna go heal real quick. Because, yeah, those toxic spikes actually kind of proved to be a slight issue. Which I guess is what I get for making fun of them, but still. Oof. Oof. Yeah, here we go. Here is our gym leader here. Byron. That's his canon name. I forgot. Rourke and Byron. And he's carrying around a shovel. He's gonna hit us with that like he thinks we're zombies or something. Out of all the gym leaders in the series, I think he might be the most heavily armed. About to send in Bidoof. Cover Pinecone. Yeah. Leave it out there for the birds. Unfortunately, we only got one bird in our purity. Only one bird in our party, but thankfully it is 3 birds in 1, so that is highly efficient. That's some incredibly good birding. Oh my god, this is your last Pokemon? I thought you had like 4 or something, dude. And this is the most impressive thing he has in the party is an eel. See the shovel? Oh, yeah. That's right! The regional variant of Honedge, right? And he's gonna use that to murder us! Oh, wait. No, you're saying something different. Sorry. Oh, come on. That thing doesn't have legs. It can't kick. Ouch! Ooh! That's pretty spicy, but we were 8 levels under, so I guess what the fuck was I expecting to not get clobbered by that? It's clobbering time! Alright, come on, don't kill me. That's all I can... Yeah, see, if it doesn't crit, it doesn't do jack. Oh, right, he's a gym leader. He's got full restores. The least interesting way of healing mid-battle. I think that's probably my argument that anything to do with... Because a lot of people really don't like it when bosses in RPGs heal in the middle of a battle. I think there's ways you can do it that are kind of interesting. And ways you can do it that suck. But I think about the... One second. Yeah, sorry, there's inclement weather going around today, around this time, so I may have to bail real early. And if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. But, anyway, yeah, the thing at the top of Mount Gagaset, for example, I think is, at least on paper, kind of an interesting way of being like, hey, here's how you can deal with healing in a fight, is you make it this challenge that you have to overcome and this mechanic you have to deal with. The most disappointing form of poetic, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. And my house did too. Yeah, I mean, that would suck, obviously, but there have been tornadoes occasionally in this area. But usually they like stay reasonably away from our house. Like, this town in particular just seems to be not hit by any of them. They'll just go all the way around it. And they'll just be like, oh, well, Unfortunate for some of the other folks in the area. Oh, I have to go get the... Oh, yeah, I don't have the strength HM, do I? Alright, well, time for us to go and do a thing that is needlessly long. As they make this boat go out there real slow so they can show us the bridge. Animating. Wait for the tornadoes to be like, watch this, guys. Unfortunately, Tornadoes isn't in this game, but if I was playing Black and White 2, which I need to actually get around to streaming Black and White version 2 on here. I streamed Black and White version 1 years ago at this point. Hey, the guy in the funny hat gave us HM4. Hooray! Well, I mean, technically we could go explore Iron Island. Thankfully, it's a very short little side quest, and they're not like, hey, go through this whole cave. Thank goodness. But the reason why I bring up I need to stream Black 2 or possibly White 2, I think it's Black 2 in my case, because I played Black version, I think, last time I streamed one of those games, is because I used to have save file for that, obviously, so I could do the 2-game sort of connectivity thing. At least I should be able to. I don't remember how well Melon DS emulates that or not. So... what makes them different from each other are a few little bits of code here and there, but I digress. Yeah, as usual, Grundle, that's your fault for being such a little grundle. Yeah, okay. Well, that sends us to, somebody cast Doom. Oh, yeah, somebody got hit with Doom. Big time. Okay, then. So that was a cutscene where nothing moved. I mean... I'm no expert here, but it's an explosive device, not an earthquake. Aftershocks? I mean... Like, did you guys not see the massive cloud of smoke coming off of the... Well... Personally, Lucas, I think it was a fucking explosion. Because we've already come to understand that Team Galactic, or whoever these honky kongs are, were blowing shit up in that area. Now, Dodrio, you have space for me to dump a move, right? Yeah, and I think that even though I really like... I'm going to dump Shadow Sneak. I don't think I need 2 priority moves on this Pokemon. However, my fly user is that Xatu has been being my HM mule, so... Yeah, Rampardos, you can head on out of the party for a minute here. As I switch the Relegator up to the front for some reason. Take Drifblim's XP share. And give it to Dodrio. And we'll give the lucky egg over to Feraligatr. And because I do hear some noise going on outside, we're going to hit save, and we're going to hit saving a lot of data. So my understanding is that saving a lot of data procs when you touch anything with the PC. Very specifically. That because of how this data is handled, which is to say very badly in this game, that is the cause of it, very specifically. Okay, so I believe Lake Valor is closer to Pastoria City, technically. I mean, unfortunately, that does technically also put us closer to the swamp, but I guess I'll have to deal. Do this switch. I kind of feel like Feraligatr is actually the least strong member of our party right now, unfortunately. Which is sad, because I really love Feraligatr. I'm pressing my buttons wrong, sorry. A little bit disoriented because, of course, I'm on stream switching between two different Pokemon games type stream, so yeah, that'll happen sometimes. Oh hey, look at these Magikarp just flopping around now that they've detonated a bomb that took out the whole lake for some reason. There's no water here. That's one hell of a bomb. Unfortunately, no good there. In terms of killing this thing in one. Like I said, Feraligatr is not necessarily being the strongest member of our party right now. Honestly, I think a lot of that is down to moves. Doing that. He's living through surf. Oh well, that happens. We're not like so high level that I should be expecting one-shots, to be fair. They just would be really nice. Before I do that, investigate around the area. I see you're dealing with a bit of a blockage here. I mean, they'd be a perfect match for you guys, though. Yes, very easy gag to make, but also, I'm correct. And we are not strong enough really to deal with that, so Time to switch out. Someone who can deal with that. Hey, good job. It's attack miss. That one didn't, unfortunately. That's going to be rather painful. A bit less than I thought, but still. Only a bit less. Not very hard at all. Scouting the area to see if there's anything else to be interested in. The answer so far is no. But we will head smash Typhlosion. I mean, Magma Storm is kind of like the inverse of that, right? Fire Spin is more like discount Magma Storm. Way stronger. Send in Pichu. Pichu is weak only to ground, so I don't think I have any ground moves on my team right now. Yeah, because Rampardos was the only one who had one. So I guess we'll just hit it real hard with Dodrio. Not that I should need to go that crazy. It's just Pichu. Send in Bellsprout. Now, I have things to deal with a Bellsprout, but I'll just have Dodrio fight it. She needs some experience anyway. Send in Why Not? And we can probably fight that for an easy enough win. Oh, it has Intimidate. That's funny. Okay, there's one other goofball who's over here looking around. You're leading off with a Rotom. Grass Ghost, I think. So yeah, can't deal with that with Feraligatr very well at all. But I got someone who can. Send in Masquerain. Now, Masquerain is weak to rock-type moves, of which we really only have one of those. and it is head smash, so we're not going to do that. Because we're kind of hurting a little bit. Go piss up a rope, all right? This is what we're going to do again here, is you're going to sit here and you're going to do fucking protect. Well, I guess it's my own fault for not having any fire moves past that, but still. Glad you died in one hit. You deserved it. There's a lot of things in these games that drive me up a goddamn wall, and that's one of them. Right, Dodrio, why don't you come out here and gain some experience, because throwing out the same Pokemon for it is just a little bit of like, oh yeah, that's a good way to see us get countered by the same move that we actually have. Probably. Odd, we do not do much damage to this thing at all, and it has Psychic. Which, in contrast, that is a ton of damage to us. Oh, right, Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock. I forgot about there being Stealth Rock. Well, at least this ass jack is just using Weather Ball and like Facade and stuff like that, and yeah, the Target store brand, because that's, well, a big part of it is that's what's in the area. So I'm hoping, yeah, I was gonna say, Villainous team leader, they usually don't carry so many healing items. And by leader, I mean admin. So not even a real leader. This is just it's just kind of this is kind of second banana. And he got fucking peeled. I'll get it. So is there anything else we gotta investigate in here, or are we just walk outside and that's what makes the story proceed? Or the story carries on without us, whatever the case may be. Well, the music is back to normal. Yeah, they're headed to Lake Verity. We already kind of guessed that, I suppose. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we can fly from there, but I'm walking out anyway. Just to make sure that I don't miss out on any event flags, basically. I kind of have to sit there going like, okay, what's the word I'm looking for again? What's the technical term for this? So I guess we should now head to Sand Gem Town, and, well, first we gotta heal. Yeah, the clowns are here. Yeah, I think Rowan probably could actually fend these guys off pretty well on his own. Or at least I could believe it. These guys are all positioned such to make getting away from the double battle a little bit harder, aren't they? Well, that's probably fair. I think there should be more double battles in these games. But wow, what a disparity there in terms of levels, and Yeah, our fella has an Ursaring, which is not a great Pokemon to see. Drapion is not really a great Pokemon to see either. It is a Pokemon that is literally only weak to ground, so exploiting that is going to be a little bit tough. We're just gonna have to give it a good pounding. Start pounding, Joker. Wait. Ow. I don't know if that critical hit was necessary, but I still don't like it. Yeah, see, I'm ahead of you on this one. One time it's happened. That, and yeah, we'll just try to Draco Meteor the big stupid purple guy. And we won't get a kill. That's a shame. That move makes a silly sound. Here's Paras at the beginning as this guy's next Pokemon. We can probably just head smash that and not die, if I had to guess. In fact, probably fairly easily. Bug Buzz is going to do neutral damage. Sounded a lot like a Mystic Quest sound effect. I could believe it, I just can't place it offhand. Because the last time I interacted with Mystic Quest was when Alan streamed last. Which we haven't seen him in a while, because I'm pretty sure right now he's dealing with the old look in California but feel in Minnesota, right? Which is more than just a handy, humorous Soundgarden reference. He also lives in Minnesota, so... You may be saying, what the hell does that even mean? And that actually is one of those lyrics that's been sort of subject of like, what the fuck was Chris Cornell talking about for years? I'm pretty sure it just means that he's depressed, dude. Which, yeah, no shit. You mean to tell me that a grunge singer, a lead singer in a grunge band, was suffering from clinical depression? That's pretty great lyrics. And yeah, Tav, we did just a couple of weeks ago watch Casino Royale, and that did have Chris Cornell as the singer on the theme. That's not the only reason why I'm thinking about it, though. I just actually really, really liked a lot of the grunge bands. And especially as I got older, and I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it. You were all horribly depressed. Oh, I get it. Lying face down in my room in the darkness with dirt blasting for like 12 hours one time because I thought my fucking life was literally over in 2016. That did actually kind of do something a little bit. Who could foresee? Anyway. I would like to go just 1 year of not getting more and more afraid of the shithole planet that we live on, but I digress. That's a whole other story. In music-related news, I did see something finally get sort of stealth announced that I've been looking forward to for a long time. And no, in this case, it's not Chris Cornell related. So that's kind of neat. Unfortunately, it's also like, oh, yeah, So far, there's only one place that has any sort of order link for it up in the States. And it would be $60 from them. Plus shipping. So... And with the way shipping prices are going here in the US, that's like, well, fuck, that may as well be $160. Not literally that much, but... Oh boy. I'd say a little bit more, but I feel like I might get in trouble if I say my full feelings on some level, because... Of many reasons. Oh, hey, it's Rhyperior. This thing might not take a lot of damage from our Razor Leaf just by virtue of its defense, but I'm going to try going for Water Gun instead. And just take a guess at the way the stat spread is that that's going to be the secret to a almost one-hit kill. In fact, it was so terrified of the amount of damage that we were slinging, it started pissing everywhere. Yep, Vulpix, which is currently facing away from us and presenting. Meanwhile, Sploosh! Oh, that wasn't a one-hit kill. Wouldn't you know that a Crocagator here is probably going to be a little bit better at physical attacks than special? You can't tell if it's charging or present. I mean, it certainly is a little bit ambiguous, graphically. I would say something about the artists, but I actually don't personally believe that there are that many furries on the Pokemon team. Fandom, sure, but team, I think they just fumble into half of that stuff themselves. And for the reason of that, I present Salazzle, but I digress. Anyway, we got hit by a critical, basically Dragon-type Hyper Beam. So of course, Feraligatr could not hide behind its missing O. For proper defensive anything. And she's dead, Jim. But we can go back to the Pokemon Center because I'm not Nuzlocking this shit, and there's a good reason for it. You only know the term presenting because of Brian. Incredible. I mean, fair enough. Brian would definitely make a joke like that because it'd be inappropriate enough. Oh, Brian Sulfur. Your jokes from 15 years ago. That would probably make people very upset if they heard them, but, you know, I've generally thought that like a big part of the context with Brian, and of course part of this is probably just because I've known the guy for 10 years, to actually know that he's a pretty good person, is that at least part of anything that he's doing is him somewhat LARPing as a dumb guy on the internet. For humor points. Just a humor joke, you know? Alright, let's give Kindle here a swirly. Oh no, she definitely does not look much like Days of Ruin Kindle. Days of Ruin, fuck. Advance Wars Dual Strike, pardon me, not Days of Ruin. No, Kindle is too fucking clown shoes to show up in Days of Ruin. Advance Wars Days of Ruin, where Donald Trump nukes the last good man on Earth to death by himself. Oh, ouch. Shit. I'm really pushing my luck here a little bit. Oh, that did like nothing. But maybe it's like nothing enough to actually dampen this thing's spirits enough to kill it properly. I feel like that'd be a pretty good reference to sneak into one of those, because... Yeah, Big Loud, I get it. Anyway, Facade is 70 power. That's not really enough to fit in here with... I mean, yes, it's stronger than any of these, but it's normal type. Feraligatr just needs better moves, man. Can't you get me, like... Oh, right, I do have one better move that is guaranteed coming up. And I think that coming up is pretty near the end of the game, to be fair, but it's Waterfall. Waterfall is gonna let this thing turn into a machine that helps get people gatored instead of just getting gatored itself. Oh, those gators. Oh, beyond reality divergence. If we could have just properly switched off the taint spread, I would have been a lot happier in the long run. But I also think I might still have fallen off. And that said, in the back of my little peanut brain, I want to say that we did the infusion shit in GTNH, and it wasn't so bad, but it also was highly custom in that. So, for all I know, in Beyond Reality, it could have been still like the suck. Anywho, plus, there's still a lot. There was still kind of like some very irritating grinds to some parts of that, if I recall correctly. And hell, that was after we turned off certain of the features. Like, we didn't completely remove all the cracked cobblestone things, I don't think, but that part of things was reduced. I recall that. Oh. Hey, it's that legendary Apom, everybody. Giving us the horrible nightmare music to remind you, hey, this Pokemon sucks. And we are out of here. Thanks a lot, Randomizer, for doing this. What an incredibly weird thing to have happen. Well, now I have to go over in the direction of up through Mount Coronet, and that path, am I allowed to just go, like, straight over to Celestic Town and go north that way? I mean, I would say that I would assume that Beyond Reality would basically work if you just installed it as is and then did not fuck with anything. But, I don't know if that's the case. Especially anything that would require any sort of internet connection, it would just kind of be like... It would definitely throw a bit of a fit. It would be like, kinda. And that'd be a problem. Plus, I think Rotary Craft, etc. would attempt to force update, which would also be a problem because the builds on those were heavily changed from BRD. So I think that includes stuff like the introduction of spring steel, or the usage of more spring steel in recipes and stuff. Because at that point, you kind of have a situation of a mod maker who, not for nothing, you know, I admire a little bit of ambition on some theoretical level, but also is kind of doing something that doesn't really get the purpose of what, you know, something that is a little bit at odds with the game on some level, and also is kind of just like, it's not a good idea to keep updating it like that. Oh, hey, look, it's Haunch Crow. This guy. Who is dead already. Well, I actually kind of like Haunch Crow, but as a Merc Crow evolution, I don't know, man. I think it's almost sort of like an interesting version that, like, Murkrow has several overtly, like, witch-themed elements between the shape of the hat and the tail feathers kind of looking like a broom. And then it evolves into Mafia Dawn kind of aesthetic. Well, I guess it does very much have a wizard beard kind of look going on with the chest, but the head shape and the, like, hat area is definitely, like, a little bit more of a fedora. No, I don't mean a trilby, but I always thought it was a Mexican aesthetic. I mean, it does have a little bit of, like, I guess I'd have to take a better look at it to confirm. Because my brain was like, I guess you could see that as something of a Serape or something. But either way, it's definitely like this strange choice in terms of what you do with the evolution. Anyway, let's go fight some of these trainers, then probably heal, and then come back through to go to the big tunnel to go deal with the big mountain. Mighty Ina should take, like, maybe a couple of hits from Rolling Kick. Yeah, I mean, Rolling Kick is not a super strong move, but it's fighting type, and it's coming off of Feraligator's pretty beefy physical attack, so we will get some mileage. And Glalie for the next one. Glalie, I think, is basically almost identical defensively. Glalie is a Pokemon whose stats are all equal for some reason. Base 80 and everything, if I recall correctly. I think it's 80. Either way, it's like... You guys really didn't know what you wanted to do with this thing, did you? But Gen 3 Pokemon have a lot of that issue with the stat balance, especially when it comes to basically Pokemon who have even or nearly even physical and special attack. Because they were very much starting to get into this idea of like, okay, we have these Pokemon that would like to be physical attackers, but they're in special types. And for some reason, they simply had not come to the idea at that point of actually properly implementing the physical special split. So that's why you get something like Cacturne, which is very obviously supposed to be a physically fighting grass type, but it has balanced physical and special attack because it's grass dark, and both of those were special attack types in that era. So you kind of get, well, a bit of jank, really. This dude is about to send in Metagross, and being that that is a Steel Psychic type, I'm going to send in Dodrio to at least try to beat it up a little bit with Bite. Because we're using updated type effectiveness, so it is actually weak to Dark. And then we don't have to sit in there with our same Pokemon who has a move that counters it and then have to deal with the whole mutuality issue. About to send in Charmander to wrap things up. Well, Ninetales, I think you can take care of that because you have Surf. Which is a big for some reason kind of moment, but hey. Oh. It doesn't care about that. Okay, well, we'll just have to beat it the old-fashioned way. To death. Using Psychic, I guess. Which counts as to death now. Oh, jeez. Man, if you're sick, go to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Ugh. And he's stocking some more piles. He's gomering some more piles. And he's out of there. Now, hold up. We do still have... Okay, no, I actually took away the goofy bird that doesn't help us in battle. Just had to be sure. Excuse me. Here's a wild Meganium. They'll just eliminate that the old-fashioned way. Don't get eliminated. Oh. Well, actually, in this case, I think my message to this Meganium is get eliminated. I missed my Sacred Fire. Dang. So now it gets to substitute, so now it gets to waste even more of my PP. Honestly, I really should have just hit wing attack at that point. Yeah, okay, I get it now. I get it now, game. Ah. You feel like making me very unhappy. I understand. Hey, guess what? That doesn't work. Because we have a level advantage. Hooray. That had some really seriously spread out EXP. And hey, look, it's another fully evolved grass starter for some reason. The only fully evolved grass starter we have not seen in the wild yet is Venusaur. Which would be very funny if that was the grass starter in this game, but I mean, it's still kind of funny in its own way, but I digress. Oh, it's hit me with the knockoff. Oh, my Shell Bell. Good thing that's not a permanent loss. And for that matter, even if it was, there's a shop that sells them somewhere. I just forget where. Yeah, see, it comes back after a wild battle. But when you steal items from random enemy Pokemon, you keep them forever. Knockoff, however, doesn't do anything for you in that regard. Just copy the enemy holder's item, and it gives you a crappier version that it instantly equips. Nice. That'd be really funny. He's going a little bit silly here. Oh hey, Magcargo. That stands a very real chance of getting one-shot by this water gun. Not an amazing one or anything, because LOL physical attack, but Magcargo does not have good special attack, pardon me. Magcargo doesn't have good special defense, and it's double weak to water. And ground. And, like, a stern talking to. And being looked at funny. A pasta shell, they wear like a cowbell. Alright, so what is our TM77 actually? That guy's describing Snatch, but it's not. Oh, it's Harden. Well, he did say the word Harden in there somewhere, but not the context that we were looking for that reason. Ooh, wow, this is the route for fully evolved grass types for some reason. And Cradilly is a Pokemon that normally I'd be very annoyed by, but Rolling Kick should do some business here. Speed boost, huh? Damn. Unfortunately, Cradilly has a speed of not very much. So I'm going to hazard that they expect us to go over here before we go over to Canalave and places like that, because some of these trainers are pretty low level. Unless this dude actually has 6 Pokemon and I wasn't paying attention. No, it's only 3. That's no big deal. I'm just going to sit here and deal with being asleep because... honestly, this thing doesn't really threaten me that much unless it... I was going to say, unless it starts pulling out and landing Zap Cannon or something. In which case, that'd be a pretty bad day, but we're okay. About to send in Bastiodon. That is a Pokemon that would really not like being hit by Aura Sphere. As I believe Bastiodon also has shit special defense. And pretty bad HP as well. Plus it's Steel Rock, so it's double weak to fighting. Because as we all know, it's very easy to punch through both steel and rocks. I mean, I know the latter is true because I've heard stories about Resident Evil 5, but... about to send in Staraptor. We have an electric move on our side here, so we can deal with this. Unless you're going to turn it to Larry and turn it into a pure normal type. And they did not. Take item. Give that to Rampardos. Which is probably sounding a little bit strange because Rampardos is actually got one of our best movesets on some level. But I'm putting Ninetales up front for the variety because while ground, I almost said ground stone, ground rock is really good coverage, it doesn't get absolutely everything. Meanwhile, Ninetales is a very varied set of moves that should spread out enough to hit a pretty good amount of types. Meanwhile, Rampardos would have a couple of things that it would kind of suck at. Like, it really cannot deal with ghosts, for example. Outside of potentially exploiting their second type. Although I guess Ninetales kind of doesn't have something that targets ghosts either, but... either way, yeah, kind of, listen, both of them are actually doing good. Ultimately, this is fine. As it were. Casey Green is going to sue me for... oh. I'm kidding. I don't think he's ever sued anybody for use of the "this is fine" dog anyway, so... Anyway, it's time to go into Mount Coronet here. Mount Jim Coronet. Wait, no, that's... oops. Of course, the levels here are pretty low, so... right, because we must be in the same room as the other side of Mount Coronet. God damn it. I screwed that up. I was I was thinking like, yeah, no, don't, you know, cut off the joke. And then I didn't cut off the joke. I became the joke instead. Which is not the same as becoming the Joker. Oh boy, a red shard. That is not very useful at all. So we're going to strength our way down this way, even though I don't think there's a real... Oh yeah, that's an escape passageway anyway, only. That is... That's not the return hole, that's the goodbye exit. And that's a place where I need fucking Rock Smash, ain't it? If it is, I'm gonna be sad. Oh, no, it looks like I can just go this way. Oh, God. Are we in fog down here? Or is it just bad lighting? Bruh. I almost kind of wanted to, like, force cut stream when I saw that, but that joke isn't necessarily a very good one. Also, this Typhlosion has Bubble Beam. Right. Of course it does. Well, I look forward to fighting the XCOM RNG. This thing not have any other moves, jeez. Well, at least we both missed. Oh hey, Dratini. As I don't actually have anything to deal with dragon types for some reason. I should probably fix that. I need an ice move on like one Pokemon, or a dragon move, or just like a big hammer or something. This feels like it'd be a great place for repels, actually, because I don't want to be fighting here. I probably should just go on not fighting then. Let's run away from everything until we're done with the shitty fog hole. Fog hole, leg hole. Wait. Here, show me a map of the basement, actually. And I want to see what this dump looks like. Assuming Bulbapedia has a map, which it should do. Be surprised if it didn't. There we go. Emulator window over a little bit so I can see better. Yeah, we found an earth plate. Neat. Surf around this a little bit. Oh, hey, a wild Starmie. I think we saw one of these before. And I think I remember saying its moves weren't that good. Unfortunately, Starmie is one of those Pokemon that doesn't really learn a whole lot of moves by level. So, yeah, if that's the case, then this higher level one is not going to be very impressive either. Found a Premier Ball. Neat. I do not know what this room is for. Probably for, like, some sort of legendary Pokemon-related thing or something. As is often the case with weird little side rooms like that. Hey, it's Seviper. Pokemon that I've explained before, I think is usually considered to be kind of a disappointing fella. An expert in being disappointing. However, it did live through our Psychic and landed a Thunder Punch on us. So maybe I'm being a little hard on it. But also, get that shit out of here. Ugh. And we get kicked off our bike because we're not allowed to use the bike in the snow. What do you think it is? Good? Also, my god, I actually forgot that was part of this. Oh, this part of the game just drags so badly. Look at this goddamn map, dude. We gotta go 2 whole routes and pass by Acuity Lakefront in order to get to the next town. And there's the deep snow here that causes you to walk slow. This place hurts me. Sometimes even literally. This is kind of the part of the game where my feelings about Diamond and Pearl went from like, I mean, it's still a Pokemon game. It's pretty alright. By Pokemon standards, it's mid, but it's alright. To, oh my god, how is this anybody's favorite Pokemon game? And if there's anyone for whom it's their favorite game full stop, like, who hurt you? Also, now the music is just going ape shit. Man. That tempo picked right up. Oh wow, a healing item in the wild. We haven't seen a lot of just random healing items placed around in this run through. Sending out Arceus as your Pokemon. Ooh, that is nasty. On the other hand, Arceus' stats are like all balanced, so at bare minimum, I think things could be a lot worse. This could actually be like super designed to kill our asses, but I mean, unfortunately, it's still going to be a big problem, but hey. What else is new? And it's eruptioning. It's erupting. Oh, it used fucking sleep powder again. No. Giga Impact. Ooh, yeah, Ninetales is definitely dead from that. Eesh. Send in Staravia. Unfortunately, our electric move is kaput right now, but we can just head smash this thing and it will turn into... It'll just sort of turn into a gooey red slime. Oh, yo, Sandstorm. Getting rid of the hail for us. Yeah! That's pretty good. About to send in Latios. That's a psychic type, so I'm going to stay in. Because we have favorable winds now. And favorable particulates for that matter. And just go for the Mega Horn. Behold the horn! Down you go. Down you go, champ. Oh, hey, Dire Hit. I don't think we've seen a whole lot of X-stat items in this playthrough either. It's been a lot of just dumpster berries. That's right, dumpster berries. They sound like a euphemism for something that comes out of one of your orifices, but they are in fact just berries that taste like they were in a dumpster. You can do that. Dodrio, why don't you start carrying a shell bell, champ? I've only got like 6 of them. Jesus. I only stocked up when one of the rando shops had one. Yeah, so despite the fact that I am a little hurtin', I am going to try to get into as many trainer fights out here as I can, because I never want to come this way again if I can avoid it. This place is what you might call bad. Ouch! That's rough. And nothing about a dog. Oh, and now we're gonna die from hail. Metagross taking a clunk on the noggin there. Classic. Classic fumbles. And here's a Bastion Dong Lord. Unfortunately, I don't have a great access to hit this thing with a super powerful special move, so I'll just have to punch through it the old-fashioned way with my fists. My bird fists. You know, that thing that's real, right? I want to pull up a map here and see if there's a healing place that I can buy. Is that? I think it's at the end of there. Yeah, okay, so we just go all the way down and we can get a full heal at a house down at the end of the snow road here. Unfortunately, I still have to fight this trainer. I think this is the last trainer of the route until we get to go heal. And she's sending out an Uxie at level 42. Ugh. Yeesh. However, that should be our only Pokemon, so... Yep. Yeah, there's been a lot of legendaries in this route, Duststar. Which is, well, makes for a bit of a bumpy walk, that's all. Thankfully, our Pokemon are pretty strong, mostly. Even if they are a little bit glass-jawed compared to these fellas, but we're getting away with it so far. We can come in here and we can heal. How are you this evening, by the way? I was gonna say I have to talk to one of you, right? I don't just hop into bed. Excellent. So now we've got this Goofus in the deep snow. And I think there's at least one other person we can go back for. Good lord, that's our second Arceus on this route. I don't like that. At all. I hit it with Psycho Boost to start with. Oh, that's going to leave a mark. And that'll be all that's left of Metagross. Yeah. Just eating Eruption at full HP. Yep. We're so happy with that. Fuck. Well, it's a good thing I didn't go far from the healing place. On the other hand, I think Ninetales can take this significantly better. Oh boy. And thank goodness, too. The main thing I remember out of this was it spamming sleep powder. So I was like, I don't feel like switching. That's just gonna get me to lose turns. But maybe it lost that by level or something. I don't know. Never mind. Yeah, it's not even the first god that we've seen on this route, too, which is... Actually, this would be the place where I think in the Pokemon universe where I would just fucking die, so... Seeing God twice out here kind of makes sense in a weird way. Okay, no, those guys are, like... They must be on the other route. And that's why I can't get to them yet. I will say this, the deep snow so far is not as severe as I recalled it being, but it might be getting worse up ahead. Don't remember what it's like in Platinum. Excuse me. I don't think I ever got this far when I last played Platinum because I very quickly hit a point of like, oh yeah, it's Sinnoh on the DS. Let me just dumpster this fucking ROM right away. All right, come on, Metagross, explode him. That made a big mess. To send in Ampharos. That is something that Rampardos will be able to probably deal with. Ah, shit, Biscuit. You would do that, wouldn't you? Well, we only took 2 hits, so... And then we missed. Well, I guess it outperformed me no matter what anyway, so that's cool. Fuck, I gotta stop falling for that. I should just try to hit it with head smash or something. And we're dead. Oh, no, we're just barely alive. I was waiting for the encore. Wow, between the two of us, that's 3 2-hit uses of this move in a row. Not counting the time that I missed. That sucks. That move is not exactly showing much of a success rate. I suppose I could have Mega Horned to be a little bit safer, but oops. I didn't think it through. Anyway, rip that Ampharos. About to use Mankey. Well, that thing's not going to be worth a huge amount of experience. And it'll probably fold to a single Psychic, which I'm okay with that. Never mind, it lived. Not for long, though. It destroyed itself with recoil. I suppose it would be... Anyway, we're going back and healing. For obvious reasons. And here we are, Route 217, which is... needs to be another route for some reason. Yeah, okay, thanks, Maylene. Thanks for coming to gloat about the fact that you could fly there if you wanted to. Sacred Fire feels like it should be a one-shot here. At least in theory. Oh, not quite. But it's not going to be able to take advantage of that Meditate boost. I'll make sure of that. About to send in Drifloon. Well, I suppose that Feraligatr could use a little bit more experience. So... Yep, it's dead. I would have been shocked if that thing had lived. I'm going backwards. I want to go heal. I'm just pulling up a map of the area. Ah, right, because this place is basically just a big, wide open zone where you can barely see anything. I do not remember that at all, but I completely believe this is the sort of thing that this era of Game Freak will do. Okay, no, that's an item ball. And see, the problem here is that Bulbapedia's map is not showing the item locations, but it did for the Mount Coronet map that I was looking at earlier, which is kind of weird, basically, that it went like that. And we've got another Latios, as I'm switched into a Pokemon that doesn't have a great way to counteract this thing. So I guess my best bet is to just kind of hit it with Magnet Bomb a couple of times. At least Metagross is decent attack and same type attack bonus should. It's got color change. I don't care about that, actually. I was like, that's going to help me out a lot. But genuinely, its HP is so low that it doesn't matter. Although, if it was a little bit chonkier, that would be just absolutely excellent bait, because I'd be able to hit it with Sacred Fire right afterwards. Found a metronome. That's kind of a fun item. Unfortunately, I think I like the ones that I have, so I'm probably not going to use it. Dugong. That's going to take neutral damage from Magnet Bomb, and would take neutral damage from Sacred Fire, for that matter. It's also an ice type, so it doesn't take hail damage, which is the part that bothers me more. It's also going to use Fake Out to waste my time a little bit, because, of course, really. Oh, good lord, that thing is actually much, much chunkier than I thought it would be. But it dropped its defense, so hopefully we'll be able to hit it pretty hard this upcoming turn. In fact, I'm going to... No, I'm not. I was going to say I'm going to pivot to Sacred Fire, but I realized it's only a plus 10 base attack power buff. And at that point, I'll just keep hitting it with the thing that I know will hit. He's so, like, it's a little silly. Skier Cami. Once again, another legendary Pokemon out here. Sending out Shaman, which is a really bad Pokemon to have in an ice place because, I mean, hey, grass is already weak to ice, but its other form is grass flying, so it deals with it even worse. I think it has a Mew stat line, BT dubs, which would be hundreds and everything. More notably, though, it has the didn't die when I wanted it to stat line. Oh well. Unfortunately, I think Metagross is gonna die here from the hail. And that thing was worth, like, dirt nothing experience-wise. Are you serious, man? For a mythical Pokemon? It wasn't that low level, dude. Come on. Anyway, Eevee may well fold to a single rolling kick. Not quite. Although he's giving Feraligatr some tickles because of some reason or another. If that's to a Pokemon that's just shaped like a big hand. Anyway. Enough of that nonsense. About to send in Cresselia. Oh, good lord. Why do you fuckers all have so many legendary Pokemon? Sheesh. As if this place wasn't painful enough, right? Ouch. Ouch. And we didn't clobber it hard enough, but I mean, Cresselia, I think, is actually, like, decently tanky in general, so... Fair enough, but it does hurt my feelings a little bit. Let's go for some Bone Rush, because I think that has better accuracy than Mega Horn. Oh, God! We just barely lived through that. And that, I'm pretty sure, is this dude's last Pokemon, because that's number 3, right? Yep, so Don Pardos doesn't die immediately, thank goodness. Alright, switch Ninetales up front. Take the EXP share, give it to Metagross. And give Ninetales the lucky egg again. I do not know! It is some wild RNG, though. Ah, yeah, here we go. Here's the, like, ultra deep snow. This is what I remember this area for. And it's still quite bad in this game. Got this little house over here. We got a useless TM. Hell yeah. Excuse me. We love that. And what do you do here? You... Oh, God. Why? Oh, it's literally right there. Never mind. I retract that statement. Kind of. I'm still not pleased with whatever Jagoff was like, hey, yeah, search the area where you move slow as molasses and you have no vision, but, like, it could be worse. At least there's not also wild encounters in the deep snow. And if you're a ROM hacker out there who heard that and you got an idea, throw yourself off a bridge. Anyway. Shuckle's Return only did 3 damage to me. The hail did more damage. I mean, that's just classic Shuckle, but it's still kind of funny, that's all. About to send in Quagsire. Now, Quagsire, we've got a couple of ways that we can make that feel a little bit unhappy. And they all involve us probably getting hit by Destiny Bond in the process. Because we've seen that that thing has Destiny Bond. But I'm doing this anyway! Thankfully, we outspent... Oh. Never mind. Oh, it has Ice Body for an ability, so it heals. Huh. Alright. Switch to Dodrio instead. Which... Ouch! Took a lot of damage from that stomp. I mean, I guess, again, Dodrio, glass bones, and paper skin. What are you supposed to expect, really? But still. That was spicy! As I now have to split my experience that hard, so almost nobody gets anything good. There's another house over here. Is this the... No, this is not the source of the infamous trade in the original Gen 4 games. I thought it was, actually. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, first of all, yeah, you probably do. And second of all, yes. The one kid who offers to trade you a Haunter and it has an Everstone on it. That is a child that will live in infamy. There are a couple of people I'd love to throw into the river here in this generation, in this region. Both of those are true, I guess. Mostly it's Barry, but that fellow can go with him, you know? The river is long and has a current. There's enough space for at least two people to get thrown into it. Oh, thank goodness it didn't Crush Claw again. I was gambling a little bit there. Air quotes, a little bit. Okay, so we're probably going to come out of this with like 1 HP, but at least I'm hoping that that's where our numbers are situated with Ale. That there's 0 variance, but I forget. Yeah, the game doesn't calculate, like, sub-percentages of HP. Anywho, Hippowdon is coming out, so we're going to swap in Driftblim, who has an effective attack and, more importantly, has some HP left. Unfortunately, no Sandstream, but I'm pretty sure that my Sandstorm immune Pokemon are both at like 1 HP each, so that wouldn't be so good. That wouldn't be very helpful at all. In fact. Yeah, okay, if it's just going to harden, that's fine. Yeah, so up from here, well, we've got another trainer who's a little bit lost in the snow, but there's the Ice Rock. For anybody who wants to know how to get to Glaceon, it's in this terrible out-of-the-way place. Okay, that's not even a real trainer. That's just somebody who's telling me about, hey, do you remember the item finder? And the answer is technically yes. It's literally staring us in the face right there, but I don't feel like using it. You are a trainer battle, though. I can't see your facing because of the hard snow. To get worse Vaporeon. Yeah, basically. That's not wrong. That is really not wrong. Also, I didn't heal. That's okay, I have like no healing items anyway. We've found almost no healing items, period, though, which is a huge surprise. I could just have bought some, and in fact, I will probably do that once I get to Snow Point. But I'm used to finding, like, a lot of them on the ground, more than I would use outside the Elite Four. So I'm kind of sideswept by that. For Alligator to level 39. Excellent. We're doing pretty good. Floatzel. This thing will absolutely get a hit in on us. But it may not survive to get a second one because Floatzel is generally kind of a glass jaw. Eruption on that, however, is on paper pretty good. Okay, no, it's a lot more able to take hits than I thought, but maybe that's just because we're looking over for Alligator using Razor Leaf as its attacking move. Because the game hasn't really given me anything better. Man, that HM8 is going to be so good when I actually get it. Holy heck. About to send in Bagon. That is a Pokemon that I'll just let Feraligatr clean up, actually. I have moves for that. Yeah, I have Head Smash. That should turn this thing into Chiblets. Chiblets. I mean, we're really overburning our everything here by doing shit like that, but I'm sure we'll be fine. I'd say I'm never punished in these games, but that's blatantly false. Anyway, we have the Revival Herb, which is just kind of a discount max revive. Technically, it lowers our Pokemon's happiness a little bit. Even if they like bitter food, for some reason it's like, oh, that's too much for them no matter what. It's because it's kind of a design artifact from Gen 2 before they had come up with half of those ideas. Anyway, this person is stammering. I assume that she is on, like, the verge of some serious hypothermia. And a Pokemon battle is, like, the least of your concerns right now. We're just going to hit this thing a couple of times, and I'm not going to switch. I don't feel like it. However, this is kind of an appropriate Rotom form for this area. Steel Wing is not entirely appropriate for this Pokemon. I mean, I guess unless it's like it opens its doors and you want to pretend those are wings, but at that point, now you're just being silly. And we all know that this series is not at all about being silly, except for when it very frequently is. About to use Lunatone. We might have to two-hit this, but Surf will do pretty nicely for it. And that's nice spelt G-N-E-I-S-S because it's a rock. Terrible jokes, again. So this is actually a 3-hit... Oh. Oh, you dick. This is my least favorite form of the enemy healing. It's when you get to almost the end and you're punished for not quite doing good enough. And they heal back from like 1 HP to full. Eesh. Hey, look at my second health bar. Except it's the really boring version of that. I mean, a boss having a second health bar is kind of like that too, but at least it has aura, right? That basically is just fundamentally, functionally kind of similar to the opponent healing mid-battle. Yet nobody ever gets mad. Because it's always cool when it happens. Anyway, that's a very yellow sheep. I mean, Mareep is always a yellow sheep, but it's got some much higher saturation colors than I usually think I see on it. Name Drifloon Hindenburg. I did name a Drifloon Hindenburg in Scarlet. I just haven't used it since then because I've been juggling enough Pokemon already. And I didn't see that I needed it at the time. But also this playthrough, I haven't been doing nicknames for whatever the reason is. Maybe because it's almost the fundamental opposite to a Nuzlocke. Out of my just like, I don't want to fucking keep having to restart kind of thing. But yeah, I just haven't used it in Scarlet, as I said, because I don't know, what have I been leveling, like 9 Pokemon in that total? And I just haven't found a place for it yet, although it would be pretty good. I just do also have a ghost type already in the party, and I think there's a flying type I'm raising too. Whatever. None of that realistically stops me in the greater scheme, so, eh. Shut the fuck up, whatever your name is, Barry. Speaking of Barry, you're gonna get buried alive in the snow by Team Galactic guys. I'm gonna laugh. You might say that's mean, but it's not as much as he deserves. Being so incredibly annoying. I'm gonna actually ping the thing here and see if there's anything in this area. I'm not doing the best and most thorough job of pinging, but hey. That might be going a little too fast for it. Anyway, we didn't see nothing. Which I'm surprised. That really does kind of look like a layout where there often would be a hidden item. But I suppose I should just never have expectations of that in general in these. I prefer the Gen 6 item finder. And I'll tell you this much, it's better than the Gen 1 item finder. It at least gives you a better idea as to where things are. I think we just walk away from this thing because it's not going to give us that much experience. And knowing my position in the world here, it won't fold in a single hit to anything. Hey, we got a big mushroom. Get that mouse cursor off screen just in case it's actually there. And finally, we made it to Snow Point City. After, like, an hour on the snow routes, probably. There are a lot of places in Pokemon where there are, like, needlessly overlong treks here and there, but this game is the worst about it, I feel. This is the game where you have, well, parentheses, when I say this game, I mean Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum kind of taken together as a trio. Because Platinum is a better game than Diamond and Pearl, but it doesn't improve on everything. Like this. Yeah, we're probably not going to see a single ice type in that gym. I hate to say it, but hey. This music feels so untown-like, which I guess fits for the fact that we're out here in the middle of freeze your ass off nowhere, but still. Makes me think a little bit more of like a Metroid location or something. One of the spookier places. But also a place where things are a little bit slow moving and not haunted. Anyway, let's pick up some hyper potions. 20 should do us, and that should cover us for a good part of the game. And I'll grab 10 revives. Oh, hey, full heals are here. 20. And, just in case I have to go through another fog cave again, I am going to do the thing that I never do in a Pokemon game and buy repels. I'm disappointed in me, too. Now, before we move forward into the Snow Point City Gym, we're going to do one last recheck of this area and go, hey, did I miss any obvious things here? Excuse me. Well, yes, I mean, we need to be able to rock climb here, but that's... deal with that later. Once we're actually able to do it. A couple more Pokemon to fight real quick. I mean, at least Cascoon should probably be a fairly safe fight. I just would like to get to level 40 with everybody before I go take on the gym. I'm willing to bet that Barboach I disdained earlier would actually be worth more experience. Oh. Roller, 1 second. Okay. It's probably these batteries I use, which are not official Xbox batteries. But I was able to get a 2-pack of them for 20 bucks. Come on, pick up. There we go. Controller takes an incredibly variable amount of time to decide that it's connected to the computer. Oh, technology, isn't it awful? And by that I mean, wait. Actually, I think that is kind of what I mean, but... the opposite of the fat guy in every starting town. Listen, I may have been like that when I was young, but I eventually sort of realized, oh yeah, this is not a great idea. And the further we go and the longer we go, the less good of an idea it seems like. are we turning animals into data to send over? Yeah, exactly. Everything about... I don't want to say everything about... A lot of it, actually. Alright, let's see how much experience this Barboach gives compared to the dumb cocoons that we've been fighting earlier. Oh. Guess he'll take another turn to find out. Only slightly more. Well, this is a terrible place for us to try to gain EXP, so... Yeah, that wasn't worth very much, but oh well. Pickings are a little bit slim out here, I guess. Now that we've dealt with all the trainers. Well, at least Miltank will probably be worth something. A little bit more. And I can look at the rest of my party and be like, wow, you are all so under-leveled. What did I screw up here? Oh, right. Actually, I do kind of want to take a quick look at everybody. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty close to 40. You've got some work to do. Oh, for Alligator, you've got even more. And Driftblim is the furthest. Oh, hey, Meowth. I don't think I've seen one of these in this game yet. How are you? Less than 400. Okay. Oh, hey, Farfetch'd. It lived through that. That's a shame. Unfortunately, it also used Teeter Dance, which it didn't become confused. I don't think so. Boo. Oh, yeah, I get to sit here and deal with this. Well, thankfully it was a nice short sleep. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's take the lucky egg. Switch Driftblim up to the front. And give it the lucky egg. Oh, whoops. I said give it the lucky egg, and I didn't actually do that properly. Yeah, there's our monkey. There's Infernape, the old Monkey King fella. Just coming in here and not quite dying to one surf, but oh well. That Draco Meteor, however, pretty good one-shot, although I guess Pidgeotto is significantly frailer, so perhaps to be expected. Oh hey, Glaceon, that makes a lot of sense to see out here. Glaceon. Smash. Poison powder. And it didn't die from Draco Meteor. Well, shit. That's annoying. Metagross hit level 40 and wants to learn Low Kick. That is a nice move to have. I think we're going to dump Psycho Boost for it. Which is probably a little insane sounding, but it plays off of Metagross's better attack stat. And while I definitely would like to have... Oh, goodness. Yeah, I would definitely like to have, under certain circumstances, a Psychic move. I think Fighting-type moves are probably a little bit more useful under the average situation here. Here's a Wild Natu. Which has Intimidate for its ability. That's funny. Can we just Draco Meteor it? Probably not, but... Oh no, that worked. Unfortunately, Drifblim doesn't seem to be very strong of an attacker just in general, but it's been fairly trusty throughout the playthrough so far. Otherwise, I think I'm at such a point, actually, that I'm just going to go walk back and go heal and go take on the gym. We're not at the goal that I had for everybody, but this is okay too, I think. We'll pick up a tiny bit more EXP on the way. Oh, maybe a little more than I... Fucking thing. Maybe a little bit more than I thought, because Vespiquen is actually an evolved Pokemon. It just might take a couple of hits, because I remember this thing having good stats. It's just... defensively, anyway, it just doesn't have a great typing. Unfortunately, it is using a healing move. This is likely to be an issue. There we go. After a protracted fight, we got out of there, and really the experience is probably not worth the squeeze there, but okay. It's something, and I forgot to move the lucky egg, didn't I? Or did I just misread those numbers? No, I did. Huh. Maybe I just misread the numbers. In fact, I probably did. Anyway. Let's go heal and then go into the gym. Okay, let's do it. Oh, yes, this gym. I remember this for being a thing that rather infamously, you could just completely break the entire puzzle when you... when BDSP first came out, because it was the same puzzle, and you could just basically go around it by brute forcing the motions. Thanks to diagonal movements being a little bit weird in that. Now, Golem should have a really bad time with Surge, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Excellent. That is the kind of devastation we like to see. Such devastation, in fact, was my intention. Meanwhile, Feraligatr can come in here. Yeah, exactly. It's... one of its two, right? Good old Gen 1 in practically every rock and ground type Pokemon being both... Oh, you got very lucky there. That's a 31% chance for that to happen. So that's cool. We have nothing that can actually avoid sheer cold in this fight, because it's on level with our highest level Pokemon. We'll just have to do this the old-fashioned way, and... do this. Slowking. Let's do this. Let's feed him the horn. See how he likes that. Wow, level 42. Ow. Can't believe we lived through that, actually. I saw how much damage it was doing. Ugh. On the other hand, we retaliated with a one-shot kill. Because Rampardo is doing the one thing it does best. Almost dying in a single hit, if not actually dying. And if it gets a chance to go, delivering a one-shot kill. That's pretty big if, though. In any case, I do not remember how to do this puzzle whatsoever, so we're gonna try to hammer it out together, I guess. Oh, hey, that's a move I was thinking of using, too. Well, that's fine. When we miss it... Forgot this move has 90 accuracy. Yeah, the downside here is that Wigglytuff has a lot of HP, so it can take a hit like that. Thankfully, we do too, so we're able to stand up to this horse shit. And deliver some of our own. At Snowrunt is only level 40. I think we can probably do decently against it. It's got low stats, so I'm hoping that Draco Meteor has at least a chance of a one-hit kill. Well, I guess if we had won a 6 and a, you know, if we'd won the RNG to get the crit, then it would have, but about to use Nidoran Male. So I'm going to just send in Ninetales because I know it has Psychic. See, I told you it was no big deal that we lost Psycho Boost. Have the experience share. Give that to Dodrio. And put Metagross up at the front of the party. I'm feeling like it's going to be real good here. It is, to be fair, so... It's not like a particular revelation or anything. Wow, you mean this good Pokemon that's, like, good in all situations is going to be really good in this area? Wow. Incredible. Okay, yeah, I guess we don't actually, But this way, yeah, this way just takes us straight to the gym leader. Did we fight everybody in here? I don't think we did. But also, I hate ice puzzles. So we're just going to... Just gonna go for it. See what Candace has to offer us. This is your Ice-type gym leader, everybody. with her, like, nano skirt. Ball toy. That is a Pokemon. I don't have a move right now. Well, I mean, other members of the party do, but I'm not switching out if I can move it. Sure, whatever. Use your healing items. That's fine. Use them early. That'll make me happier, actually. I'm sending Feebas, which is an even weaker Pokemon, so... Yeah, see, that was still quite good. Unfortunately, it outspeeds us because of reasons. Those reasons primarily being that it's basically a Magikarp, stat-wise. So Magikarp actually has like 70 speed or something, which is decent. I wouldn't want to make that my main way of fighting for obvious reasons, but speed-wise, I guess if you want to actually click a button on Magikarp, it can. We'll get there. And wow, that is a level of luck with confusion that seems a little bit bizarre to me. There are very few circumstances under which I ever get that lucky. So that was a pretty easy gym battle. I was expecting it to be much harder because of the levels, but I guess we're sort of hitting that thing right now where oftentimes you'll end up late in a randomizer and you'll end up with opponents who just have really bad Pokemon. TM72 is Mud Bomb, and Mud Bomb is a special attack, I believe. Granted, I don't know if any of our Pokemon are going to be able to use it, but yeah, special. It has 85 accuracy. God. Well, that kind of takes any of the wind out of my sails, especially because none of my Pokemon can use it. Well, 3 of my Pokemon can use it, but they're all physical attackers, so why would I bother? I can definitely do better than that. Regardless. Hey, we actually got through 2 gyms today. I guess it helps that I saved at one and then got the other one at the very end of the session. Let's save. And then next time is probably going to basically just all be plot stuff. By plot, I mean... Well, it is plot, but still.